Hey guys, welcome back to Jeep Overlanding Adventures. On this episode, my son and I are actually going to finally get the tub off the frame. I'm going to try to go through the video and show you all the parts that I take off to separate the two, and you can follow along as I take each piece out. What I'm going to show you right now though is I'm going to show you where all the body mounts are located on the frame. So those are kind of the first things that you got to take out. Some of mine didn't even come out. They were so rusted, and the frame or the tub was so rusted where they were connected that they just kind of had to be broken out. So anyways, I'll kind of show you where they're located and which ones I had problems with. So there's actually 4 in the rear of the Jeep. You've got the 2 that sit kind of back at the bumper, and then just in front of your gas tank you've got 2 more that are there as well. Those ones all came out half decent. This back corner was rotted on the inside, and you'll see in the video that I just had to go in and hold on to the inside of it with some pliers to get that one out. Along the side you've got 3 up each of the sides here. There's 3 on both sides. These 2 on both sides actually gave me problems. You can see that they never did separate. They were just spinning up inside of the body itself. So they just ripped out when I was lifting. When I was lifting, I actually just cut away some of the material to try to get it to separate. And same with the 2 on that side, same problem. And then moving forward, you've got 1 right up in the center here. And yeah, that was it for body mounts. So I actually took my radiator completely off and my shroud and the rad fan. I only did this because my rad was cracked anyways, so it had to be replaced. So I figured I might as well just get it out of the way for when I'm actually lifting the tub off. So I just took it all off. So yeah, this is me taking the shroud out, and then before I took the radiator out, there's a little drain at the bottom, so I just drained all the fluid out of it and pulled the rad out. Next, I removed the air intake off the top of the engine, and disconnected my air conditioning from the tub. There's a grounding strap that needs to be removed out of your fuse box, and then these are on the firewall, some of your main plugs. There's just 2 that need to be disconnected. There's a couple vacuum lines and stuff on the side of the engine that have to be disconnected that run down. So I disconnected those. Next, you need to disconnect the brake lines. Then just in the front there by your windshield washer, there's another little vacuum line that needs to be disconnected. Just feed it back out away from the tub. And then there's some connectors that are on your firewall, kind of in the middle. that need to be disconnected, 2 of them. Next you gotta disconnect some more of the air conditioner connections. This one goes into the condenser. Then you gotta disconnect the throttle cable where it connects on top. It just pops off. And same with this one, it just pushes forward, clips off. Like that. Then just disconnect the cables from the top of the engine so that they're separate. Sensor, and then there's a couple little clips on the hoses down on the side that you got to take off, and then pop the hoses off. So this is the 4-wheel drive mechanism underneath that I was telling you about earlier. You just pop it off with a screwdriver. You need to disconnect the emergency brake, and then your steering column, you just undo the bolt, and then it'll separate, it pulls apart. Then there's a grounding strap that's on the firewall that I missed earlier, but you gotta undo that as well. One thing I forgot to record was taking off the gear shifter. So there's a bracket that mounts right here for the gear shifter. It gets connected in here, so the gear shifter piece just pops off the top of that. There's a little spring that has to be disconnected. I took the whole bracket off. There is like an assembly that you can disconnect in between, but I couldn't really figure it out, so I just took, there's 2 bolts, this bolt, and then there's a small one down below, and then the whole bracket came off, and then it would just stay with the tub. And then we slowly but surely, using the come along system and kind of maneuvering things around, we start to lift the tub off of the body, or sorry, we lift the tub off of the frame high enough for the engine to clear underneath. And then once it was high enough so that the whole frame could roll out from underneath and not hit the engine on anything, then we were able to start rolling the frame out. Look good now?
You might
Yeah.
be able to clear it. Yeah.
She's cleared.
You're filming that?
Yeah. I
I'm
know.
rolling it out here.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay, we need this out.
The viewers.
And just to show you kind of how I lifted it, again, I just made a beam running up across the top, put some extra supports in on both sides, going down to the floor. And then all I did for lifting was I put a ratchet strap right up underneath, and I put a 2x4 that runs completely underneath the Jeep, and then ran my ratchet straps up around it, tightened in the center, and then just used like a come along to lift it up. And then I added a little bit of extra support up in the front just to hold the front up because it was a little bit front heavy. Could have probably moved the strap forward a bit, but anyways, got lots of body work to do on this. And for our next video, we're going to be starting to strip all this off and put it onto the new frame. If you guys enjoyed the video so far and you want to follow along as we try to finish this Jeep, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you on our next Jeep Overlanding Adventures.